Welcome back to day 2 of the ESL Pro League Season 8, live at you from the Intel Esports Arena in lovely Copenhagen, Denmark. My name is Trey Saranthus, and of course, today we will be going into some matches. And the first match we're going to be looking at least, is going to be the North Face Adventure Team versus Ago. Just kidding, it's not the North Face Adventure Team. It is, in fact, just North. But we also have our first look at this Fnatic lineup, which is going to consist of Twist and not Draken. There has been a change. That's just how these things go. Either way, it's going to be the opposite for the Ninjas in Pajamas, who were dumpstered yesterday. Was not a pretty showing for them, but maybe, just maybe, they could bring it back. Either way, this is day 2 of the ESL Pro League Season 8. Let's get it on.
CTs, he's going to get pressured, but he thrives. He gets one, he survives. Chris J, he could be in trouble too. Backing away now, he's just playing the time. He's got another one, and another one. JW, DJ Khaled, I don't even know.
S-Tag has to peek out wide, but it's not a problem for S-Tag. 2 kills off the back of that pistol. He's on a 3K right now.
Robs, Snacks has already fallen, but as has Robs, that's the kit on the floor, and Exist. What on earth was that?
Yes, you heard the machine himself speaking, but he is not here with us. In fact, it's going to be Chad Burchill and I bringing you all of the analysis here going into match day 2. Chad, welcome back to your second season of ESL Pro League. What's different this season?
My second season.
I mean, here, so to say.
Oh, here in the Intel Esports Arena?
Yes.
Ah, look, mate, I have been here for about, I think, 4 seasons, maybe almost 5 seasons now.
I think me too, actually.
I think I'm as old as some of these cameras. Actually, they look brand new. So, no. Look, it's great to be back again, and I think we kicked off yesterday with quite a nice set of matches. The only team that really disappointed would have been the Ninjas in Pajamas, and you saw Get Right really airing his frustrations, knowing that they could have done better, because we know as the season ticks along, it's the opening matches which really come back to haunt you.
Yeah, it was a rather rough day for the Ninjas in Pajamas, who fell to Space Soldiers of all. Of course, this was online, and, well, what we speculated in terms of what the Space Soldiers do online versus on LAN could tie that all in. Not to say anything.
You calling people online as
not what I'm doing, but it's not a bad thing, Chad.
Well,
How else are you going to qualify for the ESL Pro League Season 8
also
finals?
lost to Heroic, though. So it wasn't just the loss to Space Soldiers. They went 0-4. They had 4 matches yesterday and weren't able to get any of them. Like, people get confused when we say this. Like, what do you mean they had 4 matches? Well, each series are best of ones. Even though they have to play 2 matches, it's a home and away system, so each match counts for points. And if you've missed the system, you don't know how it works, you're new to Pro League, you win a match, you get 3 points. You win a match in overtime, you get 2 points. You lose a match in overtime, you get 1 point. We like to give away points out here at the Pro League. And if you lose, well, guess what?
You get no points.
You get 0.
It's kind of like the Oprah Winfrey of getting points in the ESL Pro League. Anyway, let's take a look at the schedule, and perhaps you can understand what exactly it is you're going to be watching today over here. We got the North Face Adventure Team versus AGO, Fnatic versus Heroic, and then Big and Astralis to square us off at the very end of the day. Again, all of these encompassing 2 maps apiece, so that's 6 maps total. Chad, walk me through the secondary stream.
I think that secondary stream actually has some fire to kick things off with how well Hellraisers did at the major Mouse Sports. Obviously, didn't do too fantastically. However, they just picked up the trophy at ESL 1 New York all of 4 days ago. Actually, make that 3. It's only Wednesday. North and Hellraisers as well. Once again, just stylistic clash there, and we're still learning more and more about North as they get to grow as a unit. I think that'll probably be their 9th game played as a team, I believe, or 9th series. And then Ago versus NIP. That NIP must win that series, in my opinion. Must get the full 6 points.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to start in that deep of a hole. Of course, it has been at least 1 day of play here going into the second one. I think that's how these numbers work.
Day 2 usually comes after day 1.
Yes, but day 2, maybe we look at the results from day 1. Let's talk about the numbers that went into yesterday. We do have the standings in how it all came forth and how it was not exactly the prettiest of showing for some teams, but of course it's still early on. And with that said, Chad, tell me what you see.
Yeah, okay, so we've seen this happen time and time again. A lot of teams who play early run towards the top of the leaderboard. Not everybody plays the same amount of games every week. So don't look at this and think, bloody hell, Astralis are low down the rankings. Have a look at those numbers. Have a look at those digits. They haven't even played a game yet. We were looking at the power rankings yesterday, and that might give you a better understanding of where everybody lies, but this is just early stages, and I think, overtime wins and losses do actually factor into this. So you want to try and close out in regulation. The more numbers you see tallied in those secondary columns with OT above them, not so good. The clear-cut victory is what we're looking for here, but you know, relatively good day for most teams. Splitting series, overtime games, a bit of back and forth action. So it gave us everything, especially yesterday for those big games. They really gave us all the rounds.
We have a big game today, Chad.
Oh, we do.
And Fnatic are going to be showing up with their new lineup today. Of course, use hashtag PlayFaster on your social medias to get involved there with Vodafone, making all this happen. And in fact, we're going to be jumping into the Vodafone pre-match a little bit later on, but now we're going to be talking about this new Fnatic lineup. Chad, what in the hell is going on in Fnatic?
Trace, do you remember when we had that whole God-sent mix around, the God-sent Fnatic mix around, the shuffleroo?
Yeah, it was a little messy.
It was a bit of a nightmare, and since then, the Fnatic organization has never really recovered. Earlier this year, they won the IEM Katowice Grand Final in stunning fashion, where Crimson Flusher had some vintage performances. If you don't remember the clutch situation that Flusher was in on train to actually take that victory of a phase, then you need to go back and watch that VOD, because that's one of the greatest finals, I think, you know, from a coming from behind or an upset victory type thing we've seen in some time. But if you look at the team now, you know, thinking, where have these legendary names gone? This man behind us, he's out.
He's looking
done.
at me, man. Don't
He's
talk
gone.
about him. He's looking right at me.
Draken went from NIP fame. He got replaced from that team. You know, it wasn't working. Now he's been benched. He's inactive from Fnatic, which means he's off the roster in Counter-Strike lingo. We also lost Golden. We also lost Flusher. If you're watching, you know, not even 2 seasons ago, that's when all these guys were together. Draken hadn't made it to the roster just then. But we found ourselves with one boy on the team, and that is going to be Twists replacing Draken. And you're like, Twist, that's a name we've known for some time. You know, I used to play back against this kid in 2013. I played against him in MSI Beat It in 2013, and we're now in 2018. He's been around the scene for some time, and replacing Draken, who really never was able to show what he was capable of, right? We got that 30-degree window meme about him. He just never really came into the full player.
And the weird thing is this, right? Ninjas in Pajamas, albeit Draken's first big lineup appearance.
Sure.
That doesn't work out. Obviously, he leaves this lineup, goes pretty quickly into Fnatic, but just from what he said and just from what I can tell you from the outside, might not have been in the best place for him to jump right on this lineup and hope for the best. Of course, if it doesn't work right away, they're going to have that problem where,
Sure.
you know, this is not going to work for us.
I don't know whether you could cite motivation issues, but definitely within the team, within the core of Crims, JW, and Flusher, they maybe lost the spark. Crims is always performing at that top level, but you could see in Flusher's play, he had fallen off, and now he's gone to Cloud9 with Golden. We're left with JW, Crims, Exist as the in-game leader of NIP Legendary fame, and now we've added in Twist. The problem is, the 5th is still in limbo. The 5th is Scream, who is at the moment touted to be a stand-in. So they haven't worked out what direction they want to take with this roster. Tonight they will have to be speaking English. That's just the way the cookie's going to crumble. And then we do have Jumpy as the coach of the team. But this poor boy behind you on the big screen, he's had a bit of a rough time over the last 6 months. It was IEM Oakland last year. They lifted a trophy, mate. You know, he was at the top of the world, and since then it's just been a turbulent time. And we know Draken on a personal level. He's the type of kid, you know, who this is going to affect, and he's going to want to bounce back stronger, as the saying goes.
Yes, the saying does go that it's actually indeed a pretty rough one there for Draken. In fact, so rough that, I mean, I do believe you read the Twitter statement from him. You read what he said about it not being the best timeline for him to join. And that's seeming a little bit more personal. Is that fair to say?
I think, you know, if you look at the context of the team, they, like I said, since Godsent, since that move around the switcheroo that happened back then, they've never really found that form. I think maybe in the part of the year where we thought it may get back together was after that Katowice victory, right? That was with Golden on the team. And I thought, maybe this is showing the signs that this squad needs to move forward and stay. But then they removed Golden and they added Exist after a lot of chopping and changing. And it wasn't Draken's fault. Him joining the team, like he's saying, it was just a bad period of time. The team probably wasn't in the right position mentally, and now they know they need to retool. They need to kind of readdress the whole team, the whole system, and start again. Don't really rest on the laurels of the legendary Fanatics of the past.
Bloody Nora, as you once said.
Bloody Nora.
I don't even know what that means, Chad.
Well, like, I think it's just an old timely saying that was probably offensive once upon a time.
Probably offensive once upon a time. We're going to check out Draken at ESL 1 New York because this was his last stand with Fnatic. Let's see what this is all about.
I think we had a pretty good plan going into the major, and it was looking all right. We had 2-1 in the score, and we went up against Navi. We even led that match 7-3 on T-side Mirage, and still we started tilting out of no reason. I think we just need to get the team chemistry up, and everyone needs to be on the same page. And we have been playing pretty good on practice, but on officials, I'm not feeling that good.
They've just lost Flusher, who's gone to Cloud9. They've had to bring in Scream as a replacement, who doesn't even speak Swedish. They're not going to be speaking their native language. And some of the biggest problems with this team has been tilting.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Scream. Even though we're gonna speak English, I think Scream is an insane player. I've always looked up to him in my career before I got pro, and I've always, watched him play because he's an amazing player. But I think he's a really good character. He has a lot of easy input and he's easy to play with, easy to get along with outside the game as well. So we'll just see how it goes. I think Flusha needed a new route. He needed a new beginning. Yeah, I think this is a good start for us with Scream. We'll see how it goes, and it's a stand-in for this event. We have no pressure going here. No one expected so much from us, so we really are the dark horse here. I've been playing a lot more personally at home, and I really think I'm having more fun, playing now again. So we're just gonna go, step by step, game by game, and take it from there. I'm more motivated than ever in my career right now. I mean, when I joined NIP, I was really motivated, then it went a bit downhill in the end. I joined Fnatic, I got motivated again. Now I feel like I really, I want to play more, and I want to, show everyone how good I am, really.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Yes, indeed. The Vodafone pre-match is among us in our first game of the day, a little bit of North and AGO action. And yes, you did hear some pretty sombering sentiments there from Draken. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on. In fact, in the second matchup, where it's Fnatic and Heroic. Chad, let's center the focus around our first matchup. We have AGO and we have North. Let's talk about AGO first.
So here's the thing, right? If you were following the Polish scene, you'd be thinking Virtus Pro for a very long time have been the best squad within that region. Now things have definitely chopped and changed. Snatchy was a member of AGO. He was actually recruited by VP and gone to that roster not that long ago, which when these guys were actually making their way up, there was a debate that maybe AGO were the best Polish team. But now we have three teams all of a very similar level. You've got Kingwin, we've got VP, but the one we're dealing with in the Pro League, the one at the top of the mountain at the moment, at least as far as we're concerned, is this AGO roster. So let's run you through who we had left on that team. So we obviously have PHR, we've got Furlan, we've got Gruby. So the last two there, Furlan and Gruby that I mentioned, had played in majors some time ago. They're the type of players who I guess are the backbone of the team. The replacement for old mate Snatchy is Spiro. And then if I have to pronounce this guy's name, Trace, I'm going to stumble all over it. So I think this is your chance to do it.
Which one?
Toa.
Teoa.
Yeah, so I always struggle with that. I just call him Toad.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. I mean, if you do the O just right, it does kind of look like Toad.
Yeah. So anyway, this team, they actually have had some decent-ish results when they've splashed onto the scene, may be it. But the thing is, when you look at the caliber of player compared to like a North, their opponent here, you don't sit there and you're not scared. Snatchy was kind of the standout star player on the AWP. It doesn't really feel like AGO have the parts to go forward to be a threat. They're a team who we want to just see stay away from the bottom three. That should be their goal in the Pro League season, which is very sad.
Now, if I think about this team, this is a team that obviously has kind of fell into this Polish power vacuum, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes, the fall of VP, the demise of VP has set up this team to at least propel themselves upwards in a trajectory within the Polish scene. But is it enough? Because obviously, no matter what you say, there's still going to be this Virtus Pro shadow.
Yeah, look, if we were to talk about the squad as a whole and the Polish scene as a whole and this power vacuum that you talk about, what I see happening is within the next couple of months, or even after the next major, if things don't go to plan for everybody, there will be a big Polish shuffle. And that needs to happen. And the reason that needs to happen is because there are clearly pieces of the puzzle that can work. They just need to get them all on the right team. VP is still dealing with remnants of the past. AGO are kind of like in the middle ground doing the best with what they have. And then Kingwin has Taz, and he's trying to lead that team by example. And we saw both of these teams just play recently in that Polish LAN, which was actually taken out by Heroic, which we'll be seeing later in the day. Yep. But the thing is, these guys are playing a lot of Counter-Strike. It's just not Tier 1 Counter-Strike. And that's the problem when you go up against a team like North, who are all Tier 1 players.
Fringe Counter-Strike, I believe they call it. Not French, not to be confused. Fringe Counter-Strike, Chad.
On the fringe?
On the fringe of being exactly where you should be, but also not even remotely close enough to being where you need to be.
Is this like we're at the top of the mountain, but we're only halfway there?
Yes, yes. I couldn't have said it any better myself, actually. However, we need to start saying some things about the next team in this bout. It's going to be North. Yeah. And, of course, this team we saw last night in a doubleheader. Or actually, would it be a quadruple header? How do we
They played a lot of games, right?
Yes,
they did play a lot of games. But the thing is as well, and this is another team where, unfortunately, we need to kind of restate where they're at. Now, I did this last night, and if you weren't with us, I'm going to do it again. Because here's the fact of the matter. This man on your screen, Config, no longer part of the roster. Cajun, no longer part of the roster. MSO, you're going to see him no longer part of the roster. You think, is this even still the North team that I remember? Well, it's not. To kick off this year, the 26th, we did actually see Raga as the coach get replaced by Ave, legendary 1.6 in-game leader of MTW. North then went on to replace Cajun with Mertz. Kirby signed, and that saw the door for old mate Config. To follow through, you're thinking, where has this team landed? Well, Trace.
I'll tell you where it landed, Chad.
Yeah?
MSL's out and Cadian's in. And last night we got to see that first little bit of it, I do believe.
Yeah.
Where in which it was a long, drawn-out affair, all the rounds, across every map. It wasn't like they were right in the stirrups yet. They weren't necessarily in the saddle that they need to be in to ride with. But then again, this is a new team.
Well, definitely in the later stages, it was all the rounds, right? And we knew that because we know that Big had more structure. We knew that Big had more strategy. They were actually more of a team. Whereas North at this point, I think they've only played, 6 or 8 series or games. I'm not quite sure the exact number on that. They haven't played a lot. So here's the thing. They're a little bit more loose, a little bit more scrimmy. And I feel that's actually getting more out of the players like AZ. You saw the kid on the combat AWP last night.
In fact, at this time, you might note some new faces here in the studio. Yes, it's the same ones from yesterday, but they have washed them, I think. So we do have Hugo and Harry, and we're going to be getting to them in just a second. However, I think we need to tie this one full circle because 100%. There was a very important tidbit that we forgot, Chad. Can you guess what it is?
No, I'd love to hear it.
It would be something along the lines of Ego barely surviving relegation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I mean about wanting to keep them, for them, it's just the goal is to stay out of that bottom 3. That's all they really can be hoping for, I think. You can see here, they actually are the ones who put the nail in the coffin for that Envious roster, who is now completely dispersed, and now there is a new French team on the horizon, currently known as the Water Boys. But for them to be able to get through this and stay in the Pro League, that's kind of all they're aiming for, right?
And side note, how come I feel like this isn't the last time we're going to see this Envious roster or Envious name in a relegation scenario?
Well, right now, Envy have brought up a team, but it is a North American squad. They're not playing in the North American Pro League. They will have to work their way up. So there is a possibility to see them playing within those Mountain Dew League tournaments and then Pro League relegation at some point in the near future, unless they suck.
Which is always a chance, I suppose, especially across the pond. Either way, Chad, our first map of the night will be Mirage here between North and Ego. And I suppose we should also talk about a few win conditions here. What could possibly go right on either side of the equation?
Well, I think, North, as I was mentioning, thriving a little bit more with their stars. The AZs of the world and the Kirbys are having more impact and it's a bit more scrimmy. So I don't really mind that going on too much. And I think, that means that they're looser and harder to predict. But you have to look at Ego. When I watched them play historically, Snatchy with the AWP was such an impact player within the swing. I don't know how Spiro is going to kind of fit into that role. Something that we have to look out for.
Here's something we're going to look out for. It's what you two have to say. That's right. Not me and you two. Guys, North and Ego, what are some win conditions here, Hugo?
Oh, for me, you're throwing me right
curveball.
in.
You saw I was looking at him, but I said you.
What, for who I think is going to win?
Yes.
For North, like coming into this game, I think it's going to be obviously both fairly new rosters in the sense North obviously bringing in Cadian, AGO getting rid of Snatchy, replacing him. I think just if we see the same North that we saw last night, it shouldn't be too much of a task for them in the sense of, AGO have lost their best player, North are already playing pretty well, Cadian seems to be fitting into the roster fairly well. As we saw, Big had trouble anti-stratting North yesterday, and that's something that a team like Big do a lot, and necessarily I wouldn't say that's the same case for AGO, and even if it was, North have got a new IGL. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be a difficult game for North. I think they're favored in almost every way.
Harry, anything that you would like to add to what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think people, I don't think you should be sleeping on Ego here. I think that they're like a very hungry team. That you just recently bring in Sparrow, who, I think for him this is like another shot to kind of start to try and like prove himself. I saw him play in Montreal firsthand, and that was for DreamHack Open out there, and he looked fantastic within this squad. So, I think, keep your eye on him. He was never really like a very high-flying, high-fragging dude in the past in any of his previous teams, but like he's looking good here within this squad. And then you take a look as well. I'd say keep your eye on Toa. There's someone else to keep an eye on. I think he's fantastic.
Toa,
yeah.
not
Toa.
Toad.
Not Toad, not Tao. Toa.
I thought it was Toa.
I thought it was Tao.
I've always gone with Toa, but it might be Tao.
Okay.
So
Somebody get your social
yeah.
medias out. Get the hashtags going. That's ESL Pro League. And in fact, you could tag these guys. I would ask you what your social media handles are, but perhaps we'll
already
touch
came
on that
up,
one.
I
Yeah,
think.
we already nailed that one. Either way, yes, indeed. The map is going to be Mirage here. And is this going to be a closer affair, or should this be a one landslide?
Well, here's what I want to ask. You know how fired up I get about this stuff, Trace.
Okay, here we go.
Are we waiting for the players again?
The odds are yes.
This is the thing, man. Harry, you saw me do this when we did that bloody
Yeah,
online
man.
broadcast.
Yeah, this was a good speech. Actually.
I think I was wearing the same outfit.
Yeah.
But regardless, they're only probably a little bit late. I've just got word in the ear from the boss man upstairs, Gabe. He told me things are looking good. So we should be good to go in a minute. But let's just see a brawly North. Let's get the best out of these star players. Volder, Kirby, Old Mate AZ. They can do it. They're big fraggers. Let's have another Danish team on the map, and then they can tighten it up as they move with Cadian in the backlines and Gabe with those impact frags like we saw last night on Train with that 5-7. Let's make it happen, North. You can do great things.
Wow, and with that, Chad has been announced as the new coach of North with that speech. Thank you very much, Chad. Guys, I think it's about time we get this underway. Enough fluffing, enough flabbing, and in fact, enough jibber-jabbing. We're going to be giving it over to you guys, jumping into Mirage. It's about that time. You guys, any final words?
Yeah, dude, I just can't wait. You know, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm pumped. Let's get into this, Hugo. Now, day 2 here. Of Pro League and North versus AGO. It's good old Denmark versus Poland. Don't get more iconic than that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. You know, it's the old Royale. You know, that's what they call it. This is the iconic matchup.
Age-old game. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun, Harry, regardless. I can't wait to see how AGO are going to do coming into the season. The question mark for me is Windigo and AGO, right? We've already had this discussion. Windigo managing to even beat AGO on one map yesterday, 16-7 on Mirage, on this exact map. And in the past, we've seen AGO have so much success on Mirage, but now the big question gets called in. You know, was that very reliant on Snatchy? Are they going to be able to find their form? Or Windigo just hitting their shots yesterday? We didn't see that game because obviously we were casting the mainstream game at the same time. But either way, all our questions, or at least most of them, are going to be answered. We're into map number 1 of the night. We've got 6 here on the EU side of things, and straight into Mirage, Harry. North on the T side to kick things off.
Yeah, North going to be, as you say, over on this T side, making their way. Oh my goodness, Sparrow, what a fantastic opener from him. We're actually straight into this pistol round, Hugo. Wasting no time on this. And already, ooh, AZ left in a 1v3.
Of all players that you do want in this situation, it would be AZ. Already started things off, but the bombs dropped down on middle and North. Not looking like a good round for them. We've got a crossfire from AGO, 2 players on top mid, another man on short. AZ, he's not even got armor to play with. There's not really a lot going for him right now, but he's going to give it his best shot. Smoke in the window, he's going to get heard. As a flashbang goes through, he'll jump into the middle area, but again, with, oh my god, 2 players on top mid. I was about to say this is pretty unrealistic, but AZ's landed another shot. However, that will fall short. PHR gets rid of him, and AGO starting things off well.
Yeah, I mean, AZ landing a couple of good shots there, though. That's going to be something to keep an eye on as this looks to progress. Hugo. This round going to be found there by AGO, and now I'll have to try and build this lead up. We can see we have the ghost of the odds up on the screen.
For those who can't read it,
people are still leaning towards North. That was like a 1.32 to 3, I think, with the odds there.
3.1,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, I channeled my inner, what's it called? Like
Ghost
psychic,
Hunter.
Yeah, like medium, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever they're called.
Harry's been going to the church, you know,
been watching a lot of Most Haunted.
You did say earlier that TV is like the Ring TV that we have outside.
Oh yeah, you know,
so, maybe some ghouls and ghosts here.
Ghouls and ghosts.
We are nearing
in October,
Halloween.
Yeah, right. It's almost Halloween, and you know, nothing's more spooky than this force buy from North. You know, they've gone ahead, they've got the Ds, they've got the CZs, a little bit of utility here and there as well. They're going to be taking up position down here in lower tunnels. It's going to be Kirby and Valder there, and yeah, AZ back in T-spawn, ready to go and grab that bomb. You can see Cadian's keeping an eye on the ramp for any aggression from AGO, but right now they're playing a pretty measured game.
Yeah, just chilling out. AGO aren't going to be walking into any kind of setups here from North. Again, this is a round where North are going to be desperate to look for any picks. If AGO get aggressive, it's certainly going to be punished. But for now, AGO, they give up on that triple B setup that was waiting for a potential early CZ rush, which may still come through. But with the bomb back on ramp now, it's seeming more and more unlikely by the second. Gade going down in middle. Kirby coming up through the underpass with his teammate. And this is where the split to the A site comes through. Sparrow's got to watch his back. He's completely open. He has no idea. No one even in middle. And PHR's now coming through the jungle, but he's got a big task to do. If he can't land a kill, North can win this round. They are running over this A bomb site. 2 players left up for AGO, and somehow North getting the bomb down.
Yeah, Toa got to manage himself 1 kill onto Valde at the very least, but still a 2v3 in this retake. North going to be primed and ready to try and steal around straight back. Right now, we're looking at Toa. Well, at least we were. Gone to Cadian, but he's going to be looking to try and find something in from jungle. Smokes off Kirby for the time being, but that's gap in the top of the smoke. That's perfect. Kirby's going to take that all day long, and Groovy 1v3 now. This is asking a lot of him. 3 kills to his name, and time ticked down so low. He's just going to have to back away and give this round up. But as he does so, he's going to walk into the moors of Cadian. So North, very, very quick to steal around straight back there. Hugo, they're going to be in with a first of their own. And now for AGO, they're kind of in a situation where we have to see him force by.
Bit of a heartbreaker there for AGO. They get smoked out of the window early on. PHR can no longer lock down mid, and as a result, Sparrow has his back open to connector. That is a clear miscommunication error there from AGO. If PHR is getting smoked there and he's leaving connector open, he should be moving up towards, up through the jungle towards connector to watch it, or at least tell Sparrow that his back's open. Allow for North to get that split to the A site and just crush the players hiding in Sandwich. So 1-1 now, another B play coming through, but AGO, they're not stacked this time. They've only got one player there. Make that 0. Tao already down and out. Gade has taken him with the Mac 10. And this B site is already Danish territory now. Like the Faroe Islands, it is all theirs. Valdi going to get the bomb down as well, and with this, a 5-on-4, pistols for AGO. Yeah, save. Best call to make in the situation. Nothing they can really do. Give it another go in that next eco coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be another chance for AGO, as you're saying, to go ahead and try and find success in this coming round. Still an early good start from North, all things considered. The pistol round doesn't go their way. They still back this round, and the previous round, and they're able to find success in this one. That is going to be start these guys were looking for. I'm curious to see how this matches up, though, on account, we have the new IGL, of course, over on North in the form of Cadian. That's been exciting to see thus far. And, then over on the side of AG, you have Sparrow coming in. Of course, he was the man originally, probably most know how to say from his stint in Kingwin. And, now rejoining with AGO ever since Snatchy departed. I believe his first LAN with the team was DreamHack Open Montreal. And there, as I say, there was a few questions around him. It was a bit of a question mark in the sense of, like I say, he was never really a big fragger before, even if you think back to his time on Kingwin. But he's certainly looking like he could live up to the hype here in this team.
The thing is, he just has such huge shoes to fill, right? Even if he plays sick, what are the chances he plays Snatchy level of sick? That's pretty
I think
pretty
he was
difficult.
The highest rated player at DreamHack Montreal for this team off the top of my head. So he certainly had a good showing there. But this round, it was looking like AGO had a shot of trying to pick something up with these Deegs carried forward, Hugo. And maybe they do. Sparrow is going to be able to find that first frag to Gade. More players coming his way. Couple of missed shots here and there, and that's going to be him biting the dust. Berlin with the CZ, run and gun, and instead can't get anything done. So North find themselves that third round. They convert on the back of seizing the force buy on their behalf. They're going to be up 3-1, but now this first buy comes in for the Poles.
Yeah, it's not great, though. They've got rifles, no kits, no AWP, not even an incendiary on the AGO side. North, on the other hand, they're armed to the teeth. We've even got M4s on a couple of these players here. Quick underpass play from AGO. PHR, he's going to drop right down. He may be able to catch a free kill because Valdi's here and doesn't fully know just yet. He's going to jiggle peek the angle. PHR gets spotted, gives away his position. But, I mean, look at the amount of map control North have. Look at Kieb. He's already in that A site through connector. He will get shut out by Furlan, who was watching the smoke. AGO a little more aware this time. And PHR is even going to somehow burst out through underpass and find 2 kills. AGO are looking good in this round. And North discombobulated. Only one player left, and that is Valde, the man that was spotted in the B-apps earlier on. They can surely expect this position. And so that will be that. Furlan cleans it up. 2 rounds for AGO. Everyone kept alive, and that's probably the most important factor as well. When you come into a buy round, especially one where you only just have a buy, where you don't have a lot of utility, the fact that you keep all 5 players alive means, well, now look, they've got utility. They've got 3k left in the bank per player, or 2k mostly. It means they're going to be able to continue to buy up if North bounce back with a reset.
Yeah, this time from North, though, it's looking like it's just going to be this fast playing towards A. All 5 players here off the bat. You can see they're not keeping an eye anywhere else on the map. Instead, they have Kirby spearheading this offensive. It's AZ the man to open up. Actually going to manage himself a second. He's been looking fantastic thus far for North, and now he's going to be on his third of the round. It's a big opener here from AZ. Single-handedly almost, he's going to just storm into this A bomb site. Kirby there to trade, and now it all falls onto Toa. In this one, well, it was a 1v3, now turned into a 1v2. The bomb is dropped out in the open, so he's got a little bit of time here to try and reposition, but being tagged down to 21 HP, this is certainly not the ideal situation for AGO. Bomb's going to go down. You can see AZ and Cadian, they have plenty of time to get into the post plants here. Cadian's going to start to fall back over towards ramp, and it looks like AZ's going to join, and they're just going to look to try and play this together. I know that Toa's been tagged down low, so just going to look for safety in numbers here for North. And I think, you know, if you're Toa, you do just concede this. You can see time's already ticked down. He's sticking around a little bit, hoping that maybe someone from North overextends. Maybe someone comes hunting or tries to retrieve a weapon or something from inside of that bomb site, but you know, no one's going to go peeking his way. So this will be a 4th round on the board for North.
Yeah, definitely worth keeping close to the site, because he knows that, you know, maybe if he can catch a late player running through the CT spawn or chasing into market thinking that Tao's in the B site, he can maybe get an exit, take some money away from North, upgrade to an AWP potentially. That would be a huge upgrade, but for now, AGO don't quite have that cash. They're still on rifles. And now we can see the result of keeping 5 alive in their second 1 round has actually been pretty important. It's going to allow for a buy here. They even pull up the AWP, but alas, armorless on PHR. Auto shotty coming through. Your thoughts?
Big fan.
Big fan.
You know, whenever I think of auto shotties, I think of mouse spores, definitely. But oh, hang on a minute. We've already had a bit of a fight go down over here in mid. It's trade back and forth, but you take a look at AZ. I think that was actually the collateral there from PHR. So damage already inflicted here the way of North. The only issue is right now for Ego is left them in a bit of a terrifying spot. They've lost the 1 man over in mid, and you can see the rest of the guys there, for the most part, concentrated over here towards A. Sparrow now going to start this rotation on off. But this leaves a lot of pressure onto Toa. He's going to be looking to try and hold his own. Flash is raining into this bomb site. He's going to get shut down at the very first hurdle. It's Gade to open things up. And this B bomb site is now crumbled and is fully in control of the Danes. That bomb's going to go down, and you can already see Ego falling off, looking to try and save.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen this here from the Polish side. The B site has clearly been a bit of a problem for them this half so far. Every time North have executed there, they found a lot of success. And to be fair, that is only the, first buy round they've actually gone for it. It's typically been on anti-ecos. We haven't seen many buy rounds at all from the Polish, so we'll have to hold on to guns. Loss bonus here is going to be at least a little bit bigger. I think 2,400 after this round, so they should be able to buy up somewhat. I'm sorry, that's actually going to be 1,900. So yeah, this is the kind of round where maybe you drop over a couple of pistols and PHR and Tao go for some pistols around these rifles, but in my opinion, you wouldn't want to fully buy here because next round you have a buy regardless. So let's just see how they go for it. You could easily justify a force here, but if you want the buy in the upcoming round, then those two players who went down should probably just save. We've already seen AGO win these weak buys before with very little utility, and yeah, that's exactly what they're going to go for again. Standard eco onto 2. North definitely going to be in the driving seat for these next couple of rounds. And this time, AGO, look at the stack they're throwing in. 3 players instantly on the B site. They're aware of the problem that they've been having. North have just been so good on B. And AGO, they're going to send a couple of feelers in with just default pistols to try and hunt, get a bit of information, as North, awkwardly for them, are on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it does feel like Ego made a few wrong reads, but I tell you what, read doesn't matter if Gruby's gone ahead and killed everyone. He's found 2 kills down here in mid. I mean, what 2 players to find as well in the form of Kirby and Valde. You can see AZ maybe gets a bit overzealous there, tries to make his way through the smoke and catch them off guard. Now Cadian and Gade doing all they can to answer back. Of course, this duo, not one that's been working together very long, but now we're going to see how well they can synergize in this 2-on-3. Cadian keeping an eye on stairs, peeking into him. That's going to be Gruby. He goes down. Now we're into the 2-on-2, and this just feel impossible once again for North. Toa going to try and Molotov Cadian out from this position, forces him forward and into the waiting arms of Sparrow, and now it is just Gade in a 1v2. 11 HP, and he's wrapped all the way around back through mid. And right now, it looks like Toa's not quite ready for that.
Yeah, that's such a problem that Cadian got mollied out there. All he had to do was stay alive, and that means that AGO are just going to be focused on waiting for it. Waiting for Cadian to re-peak, but now, with him gone, they're fully aware that Gade can wrap in through middle, and they're already on the angle. Tao's ready for it, Gade goes down, and AGO will win that round with 2 pistols as well. So that's a pretty impressive one to win. It seems like, you know, you give AGO everything and they can't do it, but you give them half of what they need, and suddenly they're kicking it into overdrive. Big round from Gruby, pushing towards the top of middle. And I like what AGO did there. They completely gave up the A site, not even playing retake, not even having a CT player. They just left A, focused on B, put a couple of players in middle as well, and just, yeah, allow North to go for the execute. coming in with a retake and an advantage as well. Now the pace has sped on up. It's Cadian going fast up to the connector from short. He's going to go straight down from Groovy, but Gade looks to trade as well. He's pushed through the smoke. They are on the other side. They walk right through. Did he see that? Surely he sees it now. Groovy's right in his face, and he's going to get his head torn off. 2 kills from Gade. Still looking to that A site, but the crossfire from Sparrow and PHR will keep things in the man advantage for now.
Yeah, Sparrow from Ticket looking to try and deny Valdez right to ride as he now reroutes back through the jungle here. He's undetected for the time being. You can see Toa is very dubious and aware that they could have boosted up into that window. Kierby over in the palace. Fittingly so. I mean, it has to be a performance fit for a king right now from Kierby as he emerges from here. He has a lot to do, and there is Sparrow just lying in wait down towards CT. That's what's going to start to cause him so many problems. He can just listen out for that bomb plot, and the Molotov going to go on in. Sparrow can go peeking through that, though, is the only issue right now, and the plant comes in for middle and ramp. One flashbang, all that Ago have in this retake. Kierby even repositioning down towards ramp. Maybe going to consider this wrap back through mid. But that in turn is going to force Valde to have to try and stay alive here inside of this bomb site.
He's got such a valuable position. If they came through jungle, maybe he gets a kill for free, but I think this is even more valuable. They have no idea he's here. And of all the positions that is likely for North to be in, like middle, they're surely not going to expect jungle. Valde hears the footsteps. Kierby shows his face and gets a kill. Valde re-peeking as well. And there it is. The surprise, surprise. North have thrown in an awkward birthday gift, and AGO have just lost 2 players. It's got to be the save. 6 rounds of North. I really like that from Valde. Doesn't overface, doesn't commit to anything he doesn't need to do, and just holds on for the rotate through market that eventually, or sorry, window that doesn't even come from AGO. It's in fact the fact that they push CT together is the problem. If they pushed through jungle and traded 1-for-1, that would have been fine, but North are going to win the round. 6-3, and that's a money-crushing round right there, Harry.
Yeah, I think I like this as well. You can kind of get a sense of Valde's faith in Kierby, right, to be able to make that work with him. Maybe we'll hold this thought, actually, as the fast play comes in towards the A bomb site. Verlin from behind Warheads has to start to lay down a payload of his own, but it just doesn't happen. He falls 3-on-3, and already this A bomb site is ripe for the taking. PHR and Sparrow both been forced back through connector. There's a lot of smokes down, and in amongst all this chaos, that bomb gets planted now for North. Cadian over here towards the ramp. Keeping an eye on CT. Tara's there. Not going to try and punch his ticket. Cadian. Laying down some shots. Will he be ready for PHR on this wrap round? And Noah gets caught off guard. Facing into the site. Here's PHR going to emerge from the ramp, but now they know where he is. He's rang the dinner bell, and everyone from North getting in a position to keep their eye on PHR. There should be no way for him back into this. The round time has already ticked down far too much, and this is going to be a 7th round now for the Danes.
He will be staying around the scene of the crime, looking to grab a gun. As of course North are going to exit after that bomb goes down, or goes off, sorry. So PHR at least saves an AK for another round, can swap out his pistol as well with another under-equipped player. And under-equipped really is the name of the game here for AGO. They are getting rifled, Harry. Pickpocketed. 7-3 and $2,000 a player here. North are doing exactly what Wendigo did on this exact map to AGO yesterday. So bit of a history repeats itself scenario. We've even got an MP5 for Kierby, and if we remember to the games we saw North play last night, Kierby really liked that MP5.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, I haven't really seen too many pros opt to use it yet, but Kierby's certainly making a bit of a signature for him. I'm still not entirely sold on the sound of the gun, I'll be honest with you.
What did you say it sounds like?
No, it just sounds wet.
Sounds wet.
It's like, that's like if I had to do my best impression of it. But
it's like a lizard.
Yeah, maybe we'll hold off for them for now. But it's close enough, you know. I'm the Foley guy for Valve. That announcement's still pending, but there's the unofficial leaks. Here's Sparrow anyway, keeping an eye on maybe I can get, you know, Fish to tweet that for me or something. He's good at leaking things badly. Here's Gade pushing down mid. Gonna have Kierby with him. Flashes him in towards connector. That smoke falling at the top, and that's gonna give Kierby a lot of free range now to try and take control deep in connector, and there's no one keeping an eye on it. Instead, you have Sparrow in window. And he's not in position to even spot these players out on short, but they're still walking into the stack regardless. Now he hears the footsteps. Peeking on in, couple of missed shots, and Sperry's been given a few opportunities here. Not going to be given any more. As Gade finally shuts him down, you can see AGO once again, they've stacked their wrong site. Kierby's deep within CT with their silenced MP5. He's looking like Sam Fisher as he's tapping down. He's the opposition. Pretty sure that's the guy from Splinter Cell. Maybe not. Maybe I picked the wrong name, but it doesn't matter. Here's Kierby, just shutting everybody down with this silenced MP5. And that's going to be another round for North.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for North there, because AGO had a pretty good stack on the B site. North were ready to go for the B split through apartments and short, and then Kierby just runs in through the connector, clears out entirety of A, and goes, all right, let's just go A, it's empty. They've stacked B. And that's the value of pulling an SMG like that into a pistol round. If you run full rifles, you sometimes fear running into a site on your own and maybe going down, giving a gun over to AGO. But if you have an MP5 and your Kierby there, you can just run into the A site. If you die, it doesn't matter. You get the information at the very least. But instead of that, he wins the round off of it. Now it's a B play for North, and again, they sped up the pace. AGO haven't stacked this one this time, and it's only Tao going down, leaving PHR on his own. Not for long. He'll join his teammate in the grave. And now on 3-on-5, already AGO need to force some kills, but Cade is just going ham in this round, pushed into the market with 2 more frags, and Gruby's all that stands. He's too far away. He's going to have to hold onto that gun. These B plays, Harry, have been phenomenal for North.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like, North are one, very much in the head of AGO at this point in time. It feels like everywhere they go, AGO have kind of hedged their bets the opposite. And, I mean, it's been a real mission for them to try and claw their way back into any of these rounds. And even then, you think about the times where AGO have been like, had like a 2-man advantage, and North have always just kind of been able to do the impossible. Gruby just desperately trying to stay alive over here towards the ramp. And he's going to get away with it, it looks like. He hears all the footsteps around, and this must be a pretty sweat-inducing moment, but he's all good. A 9th round for North, and a little bit more disappointment for AGO.
Yeah, something needs to happen soon, Harry. And it won't be now. Although, I say that, we've seen these rounds won by AGO, so let's keep that in mind. We've got a scout on PHR, saved weapon, 3 pistols, and, yeah, 5 angry Danes on the other side. North are just going to be set up for the A execute with 2 players in Palace. Furlan's close, and again, with a CZ in this position, definitely valuable for 1 kill, maybe a double if North kind of mess up that trade, but the utilities going around, they're just too ready for it. Look at that. He's not surviving this one. I'm sorry. Even with a dink, which I don't know how he gets out, he's going to go down straight away. Great work from North, but better work from Gruby. 2 kills? Yes, on the site. Pistol even out for a 3rd, and Valde, well, he gets the trade. He's down so low. He's susceptible to just getting dropped by another pistol, and there it is. AGO can only win ecos.
Yeah, what an odd problem to have. But
well, it is when you can't win rifle rounds.
Well, usually the reason why I guess teams would do that is because on like an eco, it feels like you have less to lose, right? So you just sort of like do something dumb, maybe like hedge your bets. You all just push somewhere, and everyone's sort of playing like, without overthinking things too much. You kind of get in your own head on like a more default round. So maybe we just need to see a bit more confidence here from AGO. I mean, easier said than done. But North going to be slowing things down in this round. They're still very aware that, this isn't a done game just yet. It's only 9-4 in their favor. There's still a chance here at a good half for AGO. So they're going to be watching mid early on now, looking to try and take control of this portion of the map. No one peeking into it from AGO, but you have got Furlan over here towards Connector.
Oh, that timing. Furlan just walks away right as North push up short, and they've actually got a smoke to completely cover their entry. We may have 3 players here, though, for AGO. That could certainly be the recipe for disaster here for North. Tao's already dropped 1, and PHR's up on the balcony doing more damage. This bomb is dropped down in the open. North have to retrieve it, but they're falling like flies. Cadian, he's going to have to soar off here in a 1v4, but it's not going to happen. Gruby finishes it off. And AGO finally seeing a successful round from them with rifles. 1 away from the 6 of the half, but North can still buy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, when these AGO guys get some momentum behind them, they start to build up some pace. They can be a pretty terrifying team to run into. Definitely, there was a time where I think we would have said, these guys are one of the best teams in Poland. I think maybe you'd still say that now. They are the best team in Poland now, but maybe we kind of now start to see VP and Kinguin starting to rise up a bit more?
I think the only reason there's still a question mark on that is because when we had old VP, as in before Snatchy, you know, with Mihu before Snatchy, and we had Snatchy in AGO, it was without a doubt, right? They played on LAN, AGO had won that game, you know, it was clear. Now, not to say that I don't think they're the best team in Poland, but we haven't seen them play with these iterations of rosters, which I feel like is kind of needed to clarify like 100%, okay, who is best? Because I could even see a world where Kinguin beats both AGO and VP on LAN. I don't think that's unrealistic. Kinguin would have been sick recently.
I'm a big fan of like the Polish CS scene, you know, so I always like seeing you know, these teams like swap players around and stuff like that, and it's good finally, you know, like they're given the chance of VP starting to crumble down. Players starting to move around a bit. You know, it's sad to see VP fall, but these guys all finding their own teams. You have that new team as well with, you know, Bialy's lot, Innocent and stuff like that. That's going to be an exciting one to keep an eye on. But anyway, focusing now, last round of the first half, we're going to see 9-5. It's like Dolly Parton is in the server, as potentially going to be reaching double digits here for North, unless Groovy has anything to say about it. He's going to manage himself one. Kierby answers back. But are they ready for Furlan? Gage certainly is. He's not going to get jump scared today. It might be October, but he's not feeling very spooky, that's for sure. Bomb goes down, and now man advantage up in favor of North in the afterplant. This is not going to be an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination here for the Poles.
Yeah, even with Cadian on the wrap as well, making matters worse. Kierby's found Tao trying to move into the site, and Sparrow with the AWP. No one's peeking into this one. No one's taking any risk for North. May as well just guarantee the round, apart from Kierby, who wants the 4K, but Cadian steals it by 1. 10-5 half for North on the T side of Mirage. That is a confidence booster, if I say so myself. Again, though, AGO won first pistol round, and we've seen how good they've been with these little sidearms. So, assuming they can continue that form into the second half, I don't think this game's over just yet.
No, certainly not. I mean, it feels like we're only just getting started, Hugo. I mean, I feel like both of these teams, they're running at about 80% right now. I think we can still push this a little bit further. So I'm excited to see how this one continues in this second half. But as you say, the score is 10-5 right now. The second half will be upon us shortly. And you know, for me, I still think we need to see a little bit more from this AGO side. I was really bigging up Sparrow. He had a great performance when I first saw him play. I know for this guy, he was on the bench in Kinguin for quite a while, right? So he kind of, you know, was sat on the sidelines, having to watch everyone else play, can't really commit to anything. And now that he's been given this opportunity for him, it's you know, I don't want to say like last chance saloon, right? But it's like he's been on a lot of iterations of these Polish teams. He's been around for a while. I think for him now, it's all about kind of showing he still has that drive, that determination to be in one of these top Polish teams. It's
not that it's his last opportunity, but if he can't do it here, I mean, like, what can he do, you know? And I definitely think he can step up to the mark, and he's already proven that so far with the roster. So, yeah, certainly a fan. And hopefully AGO have some success this season, although this game is not the easiest of matchups to start off the day. Of course, it's a 2-map, but with Train coming up next, I think that's a bit of an interesting one. Wait, I am right in saying it's Train. I'm 99% sure on that. I will double check. Harry, what are you doing here?
Well, we're back into the second half, Hugo. While you go ahead and crunch the numbers.
Okay, I was just going to say, Train was always a sick map for AGO, so even though North played fantastically on it yesterday and won both maps on Train, I think that'll be interesting. But yeah, we are in the pistol round, Harry. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's no worries, Hugo. It's all good. It's your birthday. You know, you're allowed to have a couple of interruptions. Take a look at those odds. Oh my goodness. So people clearly in favour. You know, our friends over at Betway definitely going to be leading the way of North right now. Sparrow instantly in with this trade, and I tell you what, Valdet's all going to fall on him from behind the bench. Oh, no. He's going to shut down Furlan, but players, oh my goodness, closing in from all sides, running low on ammo. Valde dancing for his life, and finally, he's going to get put to bed now. It is just Toa left alive, and he's 1v2. He has the bomb on his back, 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play around with, but he first tries to take the fight versus Kierby, and that's now made this round possible. He's found the one-on-one. He wins out that initial fight, and now he's pulled it into a even odd scenario. He can look to try and get this bomb down. Plenty of time left in Cadian. He's mind-gamed himself here. He's gone rotating background towards A, anticipating that maybe Toa gives this a go. Well, this is such a mind game of a round. Neither one of them now sure as to their opponent's position. Pressure's definitely on for Toa, though. He still has to get that bomb down. There's 30 seconds left.
No rush, though. Make sure that Cadian's not close. You don't want to commit to a plant and then be dived on from a player in one of these odd corners, gobbling angles. So he checks the market, makes sure that Cadian isn't set up there, and then has a look towards apartments. We'll plant the market, and this means we're going to get a pretty quick fight, because he's without a doubt going to play that bomb. Oh, actually wraps back round towards bench, so it's a bit of a fake. The problem is Cadian comes from the market, so he knows that this position is going to be clear, and that only leaves a few more angles left for that bomb on the B site. He knows he won't be apartments, so bench should surely be the next estimation. Cadian checks it, but Tao's going to miss a shot. They're both scrambling for a bullet here, no one landing it until Cadian finally puts the final nail in the coffin. 11 rounds to North. We were hoping AGO could get that pistol round to keep them in this game, but now things are starting to crumble.
Yeah, it is turning a little bit sour here, especially losing out in this one-on-one. That now gives North a real way of getting into this second half and starting to approach that map point. But the bomb going down means a buy comes in for Ago at the next round at the very least. Now, it's just going to be the waterfall out from Palace. They're looking to try and get this bomb down, and they actually might. AZ gets caught with a nade out. They've been allowed to get into the bomb site. The Glock's doing a little bit of damage, but no, he keeps a leash on the beast, and oh my goodness, everyone falls for AGO. They only have Glocks. Not worth getting too excited about, but it's a quick, clean round from North. They deny that bomb plant. You know, they tick all the boxes there. They find themselves a 12th, and now this buy comes in for the Polish side. They're going to have pretty much everything they would need. No AWP board out just yet, but you know, everyone's on rifles. They have all the utility they could really want. Maybe missing a few things here and there. And from North, it's the attempt at the bonus round here.
I mean, we say bonus. There's only 2 SMGs. So it's not a huge loss for North, especially when Kiebi basically uses that gun like a rifle, as we can see. Already pushed up on ramp. 2 players, him and AZ, getting aggressive. And with only a single man there for AGO, they're going to lose it early. That's unfortunate as well, because AGO, they need to go back and get that bomb anyway if they want to hit this A bomb site. Kiebi's now doubled up once again, this time with Cadian in the connector, playing close on that smoke, but that's going to fade, and Cadian's going to be very susceptible to going down to one of these players. He's not got a smoke to deal with this. We'll just hold on for it for the time being. Bomb retrieved, or actually walked past by Sparrow in the spawn. And AGO, they're going for what looks to be a B play. With these players wrapping in through underpass, Cadian spots a man at top of middle. And this bomb goes in through the apartment, so AGO, they've at least solidified where they'll be committing to. Valdi is on the other side there, actually alone towards B, and with the fact that Furlan's so deep up on short, this is a pitch-perfect round for AGO, despite the man disadvantage. They could certainly convert this, but North are going to early rotate Cadian into position. Now we have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, pushing on in, Cadian and Val, they're looking to try and hold the fort, and Sparrow and Furlan, the 2 ex-teammates from Kingwin, these two going to go out and find the openers inside of this B bomb site. And now suddenly this round gets flipped on its head. It's a 3-on-3, and it's looking good for the Poles. Furlan in a great spot, and he's going to go ahead and just decimate Kiebi over on short. Gade dealt with as well. And this has been all on the back of Furlan and Sparrow in this one. I do always love that kind of the history behind, you know, like, you know, a lot of the Polish players have always kind of played together, so there's a lot that we can talk about there. The one example would be like Furlan was, you know, originally part of that Kingwin roster, and then I think he got removed, and then on the back of it, you know, came to join AGO with you know, the guys that we see now, plus Snatchy. And up until then, I don't really think any of them have been on teams. I think maybe like a Netcox, I think it was called, or something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, pretty much a bunch of unproven guys join up with Furlan. It was like a really exciting prospect. They do really well. And obviously, even with Snatchy leaving, now you bring in Sparrow. He was an ex-teammate of Furlan. You know, these guys have some history together.
I mean, it was a mix, right? It was Furlan and Groovy, the old, you know, these guys have played at majors under players on teams like Vexed and eBettle back in the day, like old school 2014 majors, 2015 majors. And then you mix them with like fresh blood of Tau, PHI. Exactly, it was a nice. There was a nice article on it that I read a while ago. It was a cool combination, and I really enjoyed it when Snatchy was here. But yeah, let's see if this team can continue to reach the heights that we know they can, at least with that core. For now, though, 6 rounds deep on this T side. Nice B execute. Very, very reliant on that push up from Furlan on short. North not ticking all the boxes there. They kind of gave mid away to AGO in the previous round, but weren't aware of the fact they could be split from short. The players double stacked on the site when the B push came in. Were just completely giving up the, you know, looking away from short, completely unaware of the fact that they could be split on. So nice work from AGO. But how much more depth do they have? It's another A execute. 2 players here from North. We've got deep apps control, so these CTs are going to be ready for this. We need to see an early rotate, and Gade's going to begin to do so as the Molotovs begin to fly in. Man at the back of the site is already low, so Kiebi's got to be very, very careful, and that's why AZ's pushed in through the smoke to try and support him. The molly just missing its mark, and AZ spraying away does drop the first player. Bomb not going down, but 2 players will. Kiebi may be dead, but AZ's faded away, and Cadian's even got his back covered with the AWP. It's all on Sparrow. And AGO not able to hit their shots in this one.
Well, he's going to go from Spiro to Hero here. 1v4, and now peeking in towards CT. So many players for him to try and fight, and it's just not going to happen. Cadian homing his sights in on the angle. And that's going to be North locking in at round number 13. AGO, for them, it's a pretty disappointing one as well, because on the back of it, their money's going to be just completely bottomed out. You can see they make the call to go for the force buy here. But don't really fancy their odds. I mean, we say like they've been all right at winning these. You know, they've been good at winning them, but it's not reliable, right? It feels like it's always been on the back of one big play. At least you do have PHR with that one rifle. He can look now to try and find an opener, juggle a couple of guns around, and there's an opener found now by Sparrow. So man advantage gain. Here comes the B rush. North going to be under pressure to try and rotate players around. Valder, he's smoked off here on short. Kiebi over in the kitchen, going to manage himself one. Cadian helping out that much more. So North doing a good job of getting back into this round. Deny that bomb as that gets dropped in the open as well. Groovy now retrieving a rifle. He has to worry about Valde in the back, and he's going to manage to find it. So we're into a 2-on-2. Here's Cadian with the AWP on short, chiming in with his first, tagged up. It's the scout of Sparrow quickly traded out into an AK. He has time, but that's literally it. The AK in hand, and he's going to get tagged down. There's smoke there. I think the, you know, the incandescence over the top of it from, or rather, you know, just the smoke blocking his vision. That's going to be the round going the way of North. 14-6, despite that nice opener from Sparrow.
That's almost got very dicey for North, right? Because Valdu was in the site and they weren't ready for it, but he ran into the edge of a Molotov that was still burning, and it made a noise. And the player from the apartments actually called out that he heard a burn on the site, and that's when Groovy, who was looking on short from market, just flicked back and killed Valdu. I thought at that point, pulling it back to a 2-on-2, having the bomb on the site, that could have been AGO's round, but they're not going to be able to convert it. North over double the opposition's score here, 14-6. And it's a full eco up against 14 rounds. Now that is a hard one to call, because you know you're giving away the possibility of winning this game pre-overtime, but AGO, they're running out of options here. They can't exactly buy $2,000. And already a man down in round number 21. They're going to just walk through ramp here. Not even a waterfall play out of apartments. We've seen how that's not been too successful. But maybe the ramp play will be. Unfortunately for them, this rotate is perfectly timed. Valdi's pushed up in apartments, so as a result, Kievi rotates into A, and there we go. It's a full stack from North and a mow down with that. 15 rounds to 6, barely a lick of damage done.
Yeah, that's pretty gut-wrenching round, I think, if you are AGO. I mean, North are looking pretty clinical thus far. I believe they're flawless so far. The 4 games they've played, I think they've won all 4 of them, right? If I'm not
dropped
mistaken.
the map to Big last night.
Of course, yes.
No, they won the OT game. They dropped the overpass, the last map. Still doing damn well, 3-1. And this is going to be a 4-1 now. Unless AGO have something ridiculous.
They need something pretty mental. Toa going to be able to open things up. And yeah, no, you were right. North did drop a map to Big yesterday. I do remember that now. But they're certainly not going to be dropping this one here by the looks of things. They just need 3 more kills to go ahead and close out this first map of the day. Ferlin, Sparrow, and Groovy. I guess the 3 more veteran players within this squad left up to try and get the magic done. And Gade, one of the new faces within Denmark, I guess, is going to be opening things up. Finds Ferlin, Sparrow answers back. It's Groovy. Start to appear from ramp. The only issue is the hunter has become hunted here as Valde's wrapping round from behind. He's just going to go ahead, you know, no chance for Groovy there. He's been taken out back, been forced to look into the alfalfa. You know, some real of mice and men quotes, and that is going to be North locking in their 16th round. That's them picking up this first map, Hugo. A dominant victory on behalf of the Danes and AGO. The ball never really got rolling, it felt like.
Yeah, Valde absolutely loves a flank there, and that's just North. All the pieces fitting in well. The puzzle has been built. and AGO, they've been blinded in the process. So that is the first map of this series done and dusted. We do have one more coming up between these two teams. It will be Train North versus AGO. Join us after the break for more of that.